Hey everyone, welcome to this September monthly Plan With Me video. This month is dedicated to a very special subscriber who has been with me on my bullet journal journey on YouTube since the beginning. A few months ago, after asking what themes y'all would like to see in the future, she reached out and asked if I would create a pink theme for her birthday in September. So Saba, this one is for you. I hope you're having a fantastic birthday month and that all of your birthday wishes come true. And I hope you enjoy this birthday theme that came from your suggestion. Not only was this a fun theme idea, because who doesn't love an excuse to celebrate, but I also knew I would enjoy the challenge of sticking to one main color throughout all of the pages. I thought it may be challenging at first to keep everything pink, and that I might have to introduce a few other colors like blue or purple, but the all pink theme really worked out well. I did color my characters in gray and tan as I usually do, and the candle flame is yellow, but I really tried to stick with the all pink theme for everything else, and I really enjoy how it turned out. So for the cover page, I have Gray Kitty with his bunny friend, and they are ready for someone to come cut this cake so they can get started on the birthday celebrations. I originally outlined Gray Kitty with the fine tip side of a gray Tombow pen, but I found it very hard to draw in his small facial features with it, and found that it was bleeding on the paper and also digging into the paper a bit too much, where you can actually see a little bit of bleed through on the following page. This usually never happens because this journal is 180 GSM, but I was really struggling to get control over the pen and kept trying to reshape the eyes. So after really not enjoying how Gray Kitty's eyes turned out, I decided to go back to the Pentel brush sign pens that I usually use for the rest of his outlines and facial features on the following monthly pages. The Pentel pens seem to have a finer and smoother pen tip and are easier for smaller details, whereas I find the fine tip of the Tombows to be good for doing outlines, but not necessarily good for smaller detail work. This is also why I'm giving the bunny plenty of time to dry before coming in and drawing the facial features, because I didn't want to risk her expression looking all wonky. So I've written September at the bottom of this page, and now I'm getting started coloring in the frosting on this giant cake. I enjoyed drawing in some shadows around the cake and around the frosting, and had fun giving it a somewhat dimensional appearance. I think it's very subtle looking, but also very satisfying to draw in shadows. And highlights too, but let me not get ahead of myself. I felt it was finally safe to come back and draw in the bunny's face now. I didn't want the same issue to arise that happened with Gray Kitty. A lesson learned, and now I know what pens work better for the future. I started drawing in some dots for confetti, and then my phone decided to lie to me and say it was full and stop recording when it really had 30 gigs of space left. Luckily, I caught it before making too much progress though. And now I'm just drawing in some highlights on the page, which I always find to be an enjoyable way to finish up a picture. I included these confetti dots on most of the pages and eventually came back to the cover and added little highlights to them as well, because I thought it looked so cute on the other pages and I wanted to have the confetti match on each page, so you'll be able to see the effect the highlights had on the confetti during the close-up video in a couple of minutes here. Now I'm working on a simple quote page as a toast to our birthday girl and everyone else celebrating a birthday this month. I decided to keep it short and sweet because honestly, all of the birthday quotes I found online were so corny and generic. I don't usually do quote pages, usually I just put the calendar on this page, but I wanted a softer and more simple look for the beginning of this theme. I'm drawing these little doodles around the words and they kind of frame the quote that's in the middle of the page. I don't know what these are called or if they even have a name, but I continued using them here and there throughout the rest of the monthly pages. Moving on to the next pages, which have the calendar and an area for writing down memories. For the calendar, I decided to put the days of the week in little balloons across the top. I'll be switching between a pink and a peach color for these and using a darker pink to write in the letters. I drew a lot of balloons and cake in this theme, and maybe that isn't the most creative, but sometimes it's nice to create a simple theme and not overthink it. I used the pink Pentel pen to draw in the lines of the calendar here, and the same pen for the first letter of each day of the week, as well as writing memories in the corner. I'm using a light pink marker to create a header where the individual days of the week will go. I doubled up the lines to make the pink a little bit darker since it is a super light pink. And as always, I will leave a list of all of the products and the specific Tombow colors used in the description below in case you would like to replicate this theme. At the bottom here, I'm drawing Gray Kitty sending some love to a piece of cake. If you've watched my videos for a while now, you know that Gray Kitty has something of a sweet tooth. One of my favorite things about birthdays is eating whatever food and dessert you want completely guilt-free. Let me know what kind of cake is your favorite in the comments below. I usually go for a traditional marble cake with buttercream frosting because often I'm too indecisive to decide between vanilla or chocolate cake, so I find a way to get both. I decided to add a little heart and some whipped cream to the top of this slice of cake for a little bit of extra decoration. And then I'm coloring the frosting with the lightest pink color again, and choosing a light brown for the chocolate cake on the inside. This page needed a few sparkles and confetti, so I'm drawing those in here. Quickly adding in the days of the week on the calendar, and adding a bit of shadow underneath the calendar as well as around the balloons to make them pop off the page a little bit. Over here, I'm gonna draw in some balloons where I can write down memorable moments from throughout the month or jot down random things I'm up to, like what music I'm listening to, good recipes that I've tried out, encouraging verses, awesome art tutorials, really anything that has been fun that pops up during the month. I usually create a whole page for this, but I noticed I didn't really use it a lot last month. Last month was a very, very hard month for me, so that might have had something to do with it. But there are a few new and exciting things on the horizon for me, so I'm hoping to have some good things to write down for this month. I'm adding this little detail again at the top of the page here, which works out super well to frame the corners of pages. And then I'm coming in with some white gel pen to add some highlights onto different elements on the page. With such a soft and simple pink design, I think these highlights really added a lot to the pages. And here is an up-close look at the calendar page with the memory balloons. Moving on to the next pages, which are my trackers and writing down a line a day. Ever since I started putting a reminder in my phone to go off every night, I've really enjoyed having a moment to slow down and check in and recollect what I accomplished during the day. I have 6 different categories or habits that I've been keeping track of, and usually I find that I'm only being consistent in 2 or 3 of them, but it's nice to be able to see where my focus has been going. So for this month, I decided to make a giant 3-layer cake and make the trackers little cutouts underneath the frosting. For the headers of each habit, I'm coming in with a light pink so that it will be easy to read my writing, since the frosting will be a darker pink. Next, I'm coming in with a light tan color for the trackers to kind of represent the inside of the chocolate cake. Once I'm done coloring the cake, I'll add day numbers on these boxes because I find it very useful for making sure I'm not marking off the wrong day. The cake would probably be a lot cuter without all of the numbers you'll see later, but I know myself and I already know I will mix up figuring out what box equals which day of the week way too many times. I'm coloring in the frosting on this cake now, which was a little bit tricky since I had already drawn in the spaces for the title of each habit. So I started drawing boxes around the light pink color so I wouldn't risk messing it up too much, but you know how water-based markers can be. They're a bit tricky if you're trying to not make something look super streaky. So I did the best I could here, and then I'm using a little trick that I was playing around with last month where I'm gonna come in with a colored pencil and try to smooth out the streaking just a little bit. Then I'm just adding the shadows around the frosting. And beginning to color the light pink sides of the cake. Again, I'm going over each area twice because this light pink color is super light, but it actually builds up really nicely. This is one of my go-to colors because it's so versatile, and I'm pretty sure I've used it in every single spread I've ever created. So you can see that even though I've already laid down 2 layers of the light pink, that I'm able to come through a third time and layer it even more to cast a shadow. I've said it before and I'll say it again, Tombow, if you're listening, please create an entire series of super light colors like this because I absolutely love them. I'm adding in some confetti here, which is always a fun time, and adding a little shadow under the cake. And next I'm getting started drawing Gray Kitty over here, who is excited to open up his birthday present. As you may have noticed, I've switched over to outlining him with the Pentel pens again, and I'm using what is actually like a blue-gray color. I was a bit nervous this color wouldn't match him super well, but I think it worked out great and will probably be my go-to liner for him when I'm creating colored marker outlines in this way. I've been enjoying using only colored outlines for my art in the past few monthlies, but I was watching some pen and ink and also videos from some of my favorite bullet journalists, and I'm feeling really drawn to using black fine liner again. There's just something so satisfying about drawing with a regular fine liner, and I think the footage of it is always super satisfying to watch when I see it in other people's videos. So I'm really going back and forth because I love the look of fine liner, but I also really love the look of a colored outline as well, like you've been seeing in my art lately, so we'll see what happens next month. And for this month, I've just kept it simple on this page with leaving a space to write a line a day about whatever's going on, or gratitude, whatever comes to mind really. And I just highlighted the weekends so they were a bit easier to find. And now I'm just adding a few more highlights to finish up this page. And here is an up-close look at Gray Kitty and this jumbo tracker cake. And now we're rolling straight into this new spread because I completely forgot to press record. Sometimes when your phone is positioned right above you, you just assume that it's recording, but it's not. So here we are, and as you may have guessed by the title, the new page that I'm excited to try out is for the My Doodle 9 challenge, hosted by Doodle Day Darlings, who I will tag for you below. So in case you're not familiar with this challenge, you complete 9 different doodles throughout the month. One of them will be created by you, and the other 8 will be your version of other people's drawings. So in the middle box, I'll be drawing Gray Kitty with a little cupcake celebrating everybody's birthday in September. Then I'll upload this photo to Instagram and make sure to tag the photo itself with Doodle Day Darlings' Instagram handle. That way, other people joining the challenge are able to find it in case they want to choose it for one of their 9 drawings. Then I can scroll through all of the other tagged posts and see what other drawings I want to draw this month. And for me, I'm going to keep my similar color palette as I've had on the previous pages while I recreate them, which I think will be really fun. And then after I have all 9 doodles for the month completed, I'll post a picture of it on Instagram. Hopefully I explained that well enough and didn't miss anything. But if you're interested in joining the challenge, you can go to Doodle Day Darlings' Instagram page, and she has a post pinned about how to do the challenge. And if you decide to choose Gray Kitty as one of your drawings, please tag me as well because I would absolutely love to see how you draw him. You can tag me at Koana_art, which I will also leave in the description below. My friend Aimi, who I collabed with last month for the mulling theme, mentioned how much she enjoys doing this challenge and how consistent she's been with it. And it got me thinking that this is a great way to get even a small amount of art practice in here and there while I've been so busy lately. I've seen her finish my Doodle 9 projects as well as a few other people's throughout the months, and I always think they look so cute and special when they're finished, and this is just such a fun way to be part of this art community. Then I had a completely blank page over here, which I thought about just leaving blank and starting the weeklies on the following page, but I just couldn't bring myself to leave a completely blank page right in the middle of all of my bujo spreads. So instead, I just turned it into an odds and ends page. In the past, I have had sections for goals or accomplishments, so I figure anything like that or ideas for my Etsy shop or random notes can all just go here. I actually like this idea of not creating specific sections, but being able to use each space as it's needed instead of trying to guess what kind of notes I'm going to need to write down for the month. So this is new and we'll see how it goes. I'm just finishing up the page, remembering to fill in the lettering on the title here. And of course, adding a few more sparkles to whatever this cute little shape is. And here is the up-close look of the new My Doodle 9 and Odds and Ends pages. And here is a final flip through of all of the September monthly spreads. Happy birthday to Saba and all of the other September birthdays this month. I hope you all have an amazing month, eat lots of good food, and get to spend time with your loved ones. Thanks for joining me for this monthly Plan With Me video, and I will see you very soon in the next one.